101. Brew the perfect cup. Let's learn about the types of tea. True tea is from the Camellia sinensis plant that grows in China, Japan, India, and other regions of Asia. All teas vary in color, flavor, body, based on how they're processed or oxidized. Each jat or type of tea is often named after the region where it's grown. Brewing tea. Well, temperature and timing equals the perfect cup. So, for example, black tea can be brewed at 180 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. You can go to boiling if you want. Just depends on the type of tea and how strong you like to brew it. Up to 5 to 10 minutes is good for black tea. Longer if you want to have iced tea, or if it's a little bit more delicate and you don't like it as strong, then just brew it for about 5 minutes or so. Then remove the tea bag or the tea ball. Oolong tea. Oolong is very flavorful. It's kind of in between black and green tea. Very similar steep time to black, to 5 to 10 minutes or longer for stronger tea. You'll also notice that the color is lighter. It's more of a yellow color. Now, green tea has not been as oxidized as much as oolong and black has. Oftentimes it's just dried. It might be infused with jasmine flowers or something like that. So the time can definitely vary, but you don't want to burn your green tea. So brewing it at 170 to 180 degrees is really ideal, and only steep for 2 to 3 minutes. Some varieties can be steeped longer, but you want to avoid the bitterness that can come with green tea. Now, white tea is very similar to green tea. It's more delicate. It is the new buds at the end of the branches that are collected. So we definitely want to only brew this about 170 to 180 degrees. We don't burn the tea. We also only want to steep it for just a couple of minutes. Now, brewing herbal teas, or tisanes is what they're officially called, is again about temperature and timing. So it also depends on the type of plant material is inside of the tea. We can brew that up to 180, 200 degrees, or even boiling if you'd like. And the steeping time depends on if it's an infusion or a decoction and how strong you want to have it. But anywhere up to 10 to 15 minutes or so is typically the time that we brew herbal teas. There's lots of different types of herbal teas. They can be a mixture of different herbal leaves like peppermint, lemongrass, lemon balm. They could be roots and barks that are usually a chunkier kind of decoction with cinnamon, dandelion, ginger, for example, or flowers that would be more delicate, typically rose petals, hibiscus, lavender, many more. And then maybe possibly seeds and fruits like fennel seed, rose hips, or cacao hulls. Now, teas can also be combined with actual tea bases like black tea or green tea, white tea, or holy basil, which is an herbal, or honey bush or rooibos, which is also herbals that do not have caffeine. They are from the tea plant from South Africa. So the trick is to match up the plant part or sizes to get the correct steeping blend. So infusions are typically with leaves, lighter plant material, flowers, and a fluffier tea base, maybe rooibos or holy basil, maybe green tea, or you can also add white tea or something like that. Decoctions are typically with chunkier plant material like roots and barks and seeds and that sort of a thing. You can also add herbals or rooibos or whatever you like to it. But decoctions typically need a steep longer period of time to extract out the tea essences. as the plant material is going to be denser. So you could steep it for 15 minutes or so, or you can simmer on the stove on low for 15 to 30 minutes, depending on what you're steeping. Maybe it's a chai blend or mulling spices or something like that. You can even infuse that into wine or cider or something like that. Now, how to brew is completely up to you. You want it convenient for yourself. Tea bags are oftentimes chosen because of their convenience. You can take it to work a little bit easier, but just know that they might contain microplastics. So loose leaf tea is going to be a much better quality tea. It's going to contain, more flavor, more nutrition, that sort of a thing. But T-balls are some kind of diffuser, whether it's an actual little device or it is a mug that already has that in there, or maybe it's a teapot that has that diffuser in there. We can brew our tea warm and then we can pour it over ice to make iced tea. We can also cold infuse brew it in the fridge overnight. If you'd like to add a sweetener, you can do that if desired. Sugar syrup or honey could be a good choice for you. Milk and cream are usually added to black teas and not typically added to herbal teas. Sometimes a latte might be mixed up with matcha or something like that, that would then be whisked up and that sort of thing. Other utensils and gadgets that you might need, a timer to know what time, to brew everything, your teapot to boil the water, warm the water, some kind of diffuser, obviously your tea, probably the most important thing, and then some kind of a vessel, whether it's a mug or a pot, a jar, whatever, and a spoon, to scoop it out. Typically, we're taking that T-ball diffuser of some sort, and we're adding typically a teaspoon or two per serving of 8 ounces or so of water. We boil the water, steep the tea, remove the tea leaves, and simply enjoy. There's many different ways of brewing loose leaf tea. Again, if you want to get some kind of a traveling mug or something like that, then you can brew it overnight or simply take it with you to go. So it's just whatever way to get you to drink tea, and kind of think of it more as a mindfulness, almost like a ceremony thing that you do for yourself every day. Maybe you do it in the early afternoon or something that you do in the morning, or maybe you want to enjoy a relaxing cup of tea in the evening that doesn't contain caffeine. Remember, no matter what kind of tea you have, you want to store it in tea tins or paper bags or plastic bags that are BPA-free plastic, or in glass or plastic jars, maybe with a flip top on there. But the idea is to have an airtight container away from heat and light, and this tea can last up for a year or two, possibly more, depending on how it's been stored. Well, thank you for viewing. Please drink your tea and enjoy all of these videos and classes from Herbal Elements Academy. I'm Carrie Bailey. Thank you very much.